Carnivores is a franchise with a cult following. How could it not have a cult following? The whole premise of the game is that a company named Dino Corp owns a tourist industry where you get to hunt dinosaurs. That sounds awesome. But even by Carnivores fans, they hate Carnivores Cityscape. It changed what made Carnivores unique and interesting to try to blend in with your regular linear shooters. So again, we ask, how bad is Carnivores Cityscape really? Hey everyone, Jarek the Gaming Dragon here. If you're already subscribed and you haven't clicked that bell, be sure to do that, otherwise YouTube won't tell you that I posted anything. If you haven't subscribed, well, watch this video and maybe consider subscribing if you like it. Cityscape is somewhat of an underground game. I guarantee you most of you have not heard of it. It doesn't have a PC gaming wiki, and the actual Wikipedia page for it is rather short. It's also abandonware, so if you want to go download it, you need to go to websites like myabandonware.com. No, I'm not sponsored, although it would be cool if they did sponsor me. So it's not necessarily difficult to get, but you can't buy it anywhere these days, and it only came out on PC. Thankfully, it seems to run perfectly fine on later versions of Windows. I'm on Windows 10 and didn't have any problems getting this game running, but without a PC gaming wiki or any information anywhere on the internet, there's not really any fixes you can do, you just have to run the game as is. For the most part, this is fine, the game seems to work as intended, but I would like to have my native resolution, and unfortunately you just can't do that. This game's old, so you're stuck to a 4:3 aspect ratio. Whatever, we can deal with this. My recommendation is to run it in the highest resolution possible, and then run borderless gaming, and that should give you the clearest image you can get. Okay, but what about the game? Well, let's start with the story. Is what I would say if there was one at all. There is no story in this game in any way whatsoever, and I mean that literally. There's no text before the levels telling you what's going on, there's no main characters to follow, there's no voice acting aside from a few sentences that you're told through a headset. Who's telling me this through the headset? Who do I work for? What agent am I? Do I have a name? What planet am I on? Why is this big city empty? Did everyone get evacuated, or did some vor fetishists have dinosaurs eat everyone? Who knows what's going on? You can make your own story because it tells you nothing. And no, this isn't a good case of forcing you to use your imagination, you really have no idea what's going on. The levels start and end so abruptly with no context that it's almost comical. If you press tab, it'll bring down whatever your mission is supposed to be for that level on the top of the screen, but the level ends so abruptly and usually at odds with what this mission is supposed to be.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you. I thought I would never get out of here.
There we go. Oh shit. Okay, well. Well, those guys are dead, I think. So much for rescuing them. I don't think that's a success.
Oh yeah, I really rescued those people. Maybe I just needed to feed the dinosaurs, maybe I'm on their side anyway. But the way the game ends is even more abrupt, and I promise you I'm not spoiling anything because there's no story to spoil.
There's just like a few dinosaurs just stuck over here minding their own business. Yeah, you just had to kill all of them.
Good job, agents.
Humans win, okay. I guess I won the video game.
Looks like the cold ones are on me tonight.
We have two songs playing over each other.
That's how it ends! You win! Game over! Congratulations, you did it! I guess. It's actually completely baffling, because there does seem to be a good amount of concept art on display here. There's some neat background sounds, some good music happening, some decent ambiance. It gave me vibes of Alien vs Predator, and that's a good thing. I see a vision and I see things in the works, but it seems like just such an early build of the game, like it's not completed. There's so much that could have been done here. It's obvious that there was passion behind this game, and they did have a specific direction they were going. They just didn't finish it. Graphics sort of say the same story. Each level does look unique and have interesting environments, but man, they're not very good looking. I want you to pause the video and guess down below when you think this game came out. And then edit your comment with your response to when I tell you the actual year. Alright, you ready? This game came out in 2002. Halo 1 came out the year before that on consoles. This game is full of these big, empty, open areas with flat lighting that just doesn't look appealing. And the actual environments themselves are really just linear corridors instead of actually being true open areas. Yet somehow you can still end up getting lost because they can seem somewhat maze-like despite the fact that it's linear. I don't even know how they manage that. It's just disappointing because, like I said, there is clearly some passion behind it, there is some good art behind it, there was a direction behind it, but just look what we ended up getting. And then finally, let's talk about the gameplay. At the beginning of every level, you have the choice between a few different weapons you can choose. I like this, they allow you to choose your own loadout. You can carry 2 primaries and a pistol. Though in practicality, you're probably going to be using only 3 guns out of your options. The grenade launcher sucks, it has no range at all in any way whatsoever, so it's just useless and you're never going to want to use it. The sniper is really strong and very good, but you can only carry 10 rounds. So why would I use this? I'm gonna run out of ammo immediately. This is extra frustrating because that would be a really useful tool that you basically can't use. So the end result is that you're just going to be using the standard assault rifle, the standard shotgun, and then the more unique X rifle, which is almost so good it breaks the game. This experimental weapon does the same damage as the grenade launcher but shoots straight and is a lot easier to aim with, making the grenade launcher even more useless. The only thing that keeps this weapon in check is the fact that it does splash damage so you can kill yourself with it at close ranges, which means you're probably always going to be using the X rifle and the shotgun. But there's a third weapon here. What about the pistol? Well, you always had the pistol on every level. Fuck this thing. The pistol was the source of a lot of frustration in this game. It is absolutely worthless. It only exists in case you run out of ammo with both of your primaries. But it does such little damage that you might as well be punching them. It takes like 10 shots to kill a compy. With a pistol, it's a compy. You might be saying to yourself, well, just don't use it, idiot, just ignore it. And I'd love to do that. The problem is the controls are not set up in a way to let you do that. You can't press 1 for your primary, 2 for your secondary primary, and 3 for the pistol. Instead, it's next weapon, previous weapon, meaning it's very easy to accidentally pull this thing out as you have a T-Rex running at you. This is the last thing I want in my hand with a T-Rex running at me. To make matters even worse, when you're swapping weapons, you have to wait through the whole animation before you can go to the next weapon. Fuck the pistol. I would love it if I could just get it out of the game. Or, you know, allow me to bind weapons to keys, that'd be even better. Anyway, once you choose the weapons you want, you're thrown rather abruptly into a level, and this is a very linear, straightforward level. Most of the time, you just walk forward and kill the dinosaurs as you go. But in an attempt to spice the game up, occasionally they'll give you different objectives. For example, you might have one that just has you defend certain parts of the map, but in all reality, all this means is kill the dinosaurs anyway, which then turns into hide and seek because the AI is so stupid they're probably just stuck running into a wall somewhere. Or the even better case of turning things into a fucking escort quest. Lovely. There are quite a few missions in this game where you have to go find someone and then bring them back to a specific spot on the map. Thankfully, the dinosaurs don't seem to attack these people.
There he is. Alright, there should be health and stuff in here. Yeah, there is.
I'm glad to see you. Good glad you're here.
They killed him! God, bullshit.
Usually. Either way, name one game where an escort quest made the game better. These things suck and nobody likes them. Thankfully, there's about 5 or 6 different dinosaurs and they're all pretty unique. I've been calling the small dinosaurs compies, but they're not actually compies. All the dinosaurs in this game are dinosaurs you probably haven't heard of, but play the role of other ones pretty well. B-tier dinosaurs, if you will. For example, the T-Rex is replaced with a Gigantosaurus, which is a thing that does actually exist, or at least did exist, so Google that if you want to find some interesting facts about dinosaurs. I know it does add some variety to the game, and that's nice. And the game does present more dinosaurs to you the further you get along the game. One level may be entirely the small dinosaurs, then the next level will introduce the chicken-looking things, and then they'll slowly get bigger, eventually showing you the T-Rex. This is fine, it gives you some sort of sense of progression. They all do different amount of damage to you, have different health, and different speeds. But in all reality, it kind of just boils down to smaller dinosaur that does more damage, runs at you and tries to hit you and or bite you, or bigger, slower dinosaur runs at you and tries to bite you but kills you faster. There's some variety to it, but it's overall very simple. This campaign is rather short. You'll beat it in about 2.5 to 3 hours, and it will end very abruptly, as you saw earlier. Thankfully, that's not it though, because there's an entirely different campaign where you get to play as dinosaurs. That's actually awesome. This gets big points because it's not often that you get to play as a dinosaur. The only other 2 games that come to mind off the top of my head are Primal Carnage and Dino D-Day, which I love Dino D-Day, but those 2 games are multiplayer games, so it's hard to find a single player game where you get to do this. It sort of reminded me of playing as the aliens in Alien vs Predator. And you do get to play as different dinosaurs, and you get bigger dinosaurs as you go throughout the game. The levels you're playing on are the same levels as when you were playing as a human, but starting on the other side. And it is actually pretty interesting to see the same level, but you're trying to stop what you did as a human. As a human, you get your health and ammo back through medkits and ammo boxes, but as a dinosaur, obviously this doesn't happen. Instead, you get your health back by eating your prey. The gameplay is pretty simple though. You left click and you slash at the enemy. You right click and you will lunge at the enemy. You will lunge even if there's no enemy nearby, so it's not like the Halo 2 sword where you have to have a red reticle. No, you just lunge no matter what. This leads to some surprisingly satisfying movement, where if you jump and then right click, you'll get your lunge in the air, and you're kind of pseudo bunny hopping everywhere. Again, it's surprisingly satisfying to bunny hop everywhere and maul people to death. When you get in the zone, you can just really fly through levels this way. Also, I just love the idea of a fucking T-Rex bunny hopping through a city murdering people, but honestly, I'm giving it a little bit too much credit here. It's very simple, very repetitive, and it ends faster than the human side because you're playing the same levels but you move faster. This took me just shy of 2 hours to beat this campaign. All in all, you have about 4 or 5 hours of content in this game, and then you'll probably never want to play it again. One of the bigger complaints about this game is that there's no surround sound audio. You cannot tell what direction audio is coming from. As a human, this is mildly annoying because you hear a dinosaur and you know it's around, but it could be in any direction. They're going to run at you anyway, so you're going to find out where they're coming from sooner or later. But as a dinosaur, this is more of a problem, because you can hear gunshots, but you don't know what direction it's coming from. They're not going to run at you firing, they're going to stand in place shooting at you, so you're taking damage, and you have no idea where you're getting shot at from. One of the other negative, strange things about this game is that you're not just a camera floating around. As you're walking, you are actually physically moving a model. As a human, this doesn't cause any problems. As a dinosaur, this is a giant nuisance. This effectively means that every time you look left and right, you're making this long dinosaur body turn. If there's a wall, a slope, or anything in the way, you can't turn. You know that thing that happens in Call of Duty where you're laying prone and you try to look a direction and it tells you prone blocked? Yeah, that's happening in this game. Except all the time as a dinosaur. This is not a good game. Yet, despite that, I found myself defending it. I don't know why, but I just can't hate this game. I wasn't frustrated or annoyed when I was playing it most of the time. A few of the escort quests got a little annoying, but for the most part, I was actually kind of enjoying it. It's this Eurojank budget game that came out in the early 2000s with a distinct feel. I can only think of how good this game could have been if they really went the extra mile and fleshed out all the good art they had in the game. I don't want to say it's a guilty pleasure because I didn't enjoy it that much, I just didn't hate myself while I was playing it, and I can't bring myself to say it's one of the worst ones I've played. I've definitely played a lot worse. I mean, you can force me to play this game 10 times in a row before you'll ever see me playing Chaser again. Now again, this game is bad, but I think people look at it too negatively because it's so different from the other Carnivores games, and if you're not a Carnivores fan, well then you probably played other shooters that are a lot better than this already, so it really doesn't appeal to anyone. So how bad is Carnivores Cityscape really? Objectively, it's pretty bad, but you can have some fun with it as a throwaway one-time playthrough, and that's really all I have to say. Let's get some more dinosaur games. Far Cry Dinosaur Edition, please. Why did they make Primal when they could have made Far Cry Dinosaurs? Anyway, thanks all of you for watching, and thanks to everyone that came over to my Twitch. As you can see in the top left, my Twitch is twitch.tv/JarekForWardGamingDragon. If you subscribe on Twitch, you will get to see my videos one day ahead of time, and if you help me out on Patreon, which you can click on in the bottom right, you also will get to see my videos one day ahead of time. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.